Dr. Banerjee has been associated as a guest faculty at Delhi Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University, New Delhi, Regional Center for Biotechnology, Faridabad, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Hyderabad. Sir's research objective is to discover and verify new targets and therapeutic interventions for cardiovascular and metabolic disorders. He is primarily interested in understanding the molecular mechanisms behind insulin resistance and cardiac complications in diabetes, as well as identifying therapeutic interventions to reduce the disease progression. For academic qualifications, Dr. Banerjee has completed his PhD on cardiovascular pharmacology from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi in March 2004. Sir has pursued both Masters of Pharmacy as well as Bachelor of Pharmacy from Jadavpur University. Dr. Sanjay Kumar Banerjee has been a postdoctoral associate in the Department of Medicine, SUNY Upstate Medical University, Syracuse, New York, from 2003 to 2005. He has also been at Cardiovascular Institute, Department of Medicine, University of Pittsburgh, United States of America as a postdoctoral associate from 2005 to 2009. Sir has been a Ramalinga Swamy Fellow Scientist from 2009 to 2014 at the Division of Medicinal Chemistry and Pharmacology, CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, Hyderabad. Sir has secured in the top 2% world scientist list prepared by Stanford University for consecutive 2 years, 2020 and 2021. Dr. Banerjee is also a member of Research Advisory Committee of Multidisciplinary Unit, Guwahati Medical College and Hospital. Dr. Banerjee is currently associated with Department of Biotechnology, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, NIPER, Guwahati, as an associate professor. Now, I would like to request our chairperson, Professor Dr. Saika Sen Sir, Dean for Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Assam Downtown University, to kindly felicitate our guest and come up to the dais for the session. So welcome. Now I would like to request Sir to kindly proceed with the session. Thank you, sir.
My slide.
Yes.
So, वो कैसे चेंज होगा स्लाइड स्लाइड चेंज यहाँ पे whether this one okay can we make it full screen so how to go next I'll wait for 2 minutes. Or if someone help me here, one by one. Huh? If I go next, someone can change it. Okay. Should I start then? Should I start? Someone has to stand there. Okay. Start correct? So thank you very much, Assam Downtown University and the organizer. Okay, yeah, now I can hear me. So thank you very much, Assam Downtown University and the organizer for invitation. And very good afternoon, all of you. So I'm going to speak today. You can see the title, the development of nutraceutical product to fight malnutrition, a entrepreneurship journey from academia. So student, you can ask me anytime, you can raise your hand and I'll be happy to answer. Next. Yes, someone has to. So I think for the student, so do you know what is this banana? Who can tell me? Anyone guess? So this is Assam banana. It's called Kathia call or Bhim call, is it? So why the name Bhim? Because you will get energy like a Bhim, okay? You will get a good health. So, but this is something special compared to the banana available in the market. So there are two kind of bananas there. You might know or may not know. It's called banana genome A, banana genome B. Why there are two types? Because banana genome B, they are very special. They have a lot of good nutraceutical components there, like flavonoid, like lot of polyphenols, and a lot of other ingredients there which are very good for the health. So you can see that between the two banana is there. One is Musa balbisiana, which is a Vimcol, and one is Musa accumulata, which is a normal banana. So they have some difference in their genome. That's why Vimcol is different. So next. So what we want to do actually, if you see that we buy Vimcol from the market, is it? And what will happen that you have to take the seed out. Who have eat banana, the Vimcol, you know, the 50% of the banana is the all seed, is it? So those seeds are very difficult to remove. You have to remove by manually or remove by some methods. That's the main reason why people don't like it. So we thought, let's think about that pulp. How can take the pulp out from the Vimcol and see the make a powder. So making powder, you have to give some heat to remove the water. So we tried different temperature. You can see that 40 degrees, 60 degrees, 80 degrees to heat it. Then you get a powder, is it? So those powders are different properties if you change to them different temperature. So you come up with the best temperature which is good powder and also having all nutraceutical value, because with the heat they will not lose that nutraceutical power, the property. Next one. And when it checked by LCMS, what is the component present? A lot of polyphenol, as I said, that chlorogenic acid, catechol, epicatechins, those are very good components. Those are present in the Vimcol, which give the lot of good health effect. Next. So what we did basically, our lab mostly work on cardiovascular diseases. So there's a disease called cardiac hypertrophy. So what is cardiac hypertrophy? Anyone knows it? Student? Hypertrophy means a big. So when the heart become a very big heart, you know, and here a big heart is not good. Here big heart is a disease heart. because when heart has to increase the size, that means they're getting trouble to pump, the blood to the body. So heart become very big. This is called cardiac hypertrophy. This is the stage before the heart fail. So we having a one animal model to see that how cardiac hypertrophy disease progress, and we want to see that the banana powder we made it, whether it has any effect or not. Next one. Oh, it didn't come. Go to the next. Oh, so actually we have different kind of three group. One is control group, where is a healthy animals is there. Second is a hypertrophy group. You can say this is written iso. We're giving you one kind of small molecule called isoproterenol. If you give 14 days, the heart become hypertrophy, and we give the powder Musa balbisiana, the Vimcol powder. We see what happens. So if you look out here, there are some markers there called ANP, BNP, and beta MSC. These are the three markers. If you see the band in the left side is a control heart, which is a low. But when it's a disease heart, there's a very high. You can see prominently the band is very dark. And when you give a treatment, this is down, which is telling that the treatment has effective to reduce the cardiac hypertrophy. Next. And this is histopathology. What it shows that in the below one, if you see that what is written ISO, there are a lot of blue color is there. Those are a lot of damage in the heart muscles. So if you give isoproterenol, it is causing hypertrophy as well as causing a lot of damage in the heart muscles. So we give a treatment of Musa balbisiana, the Vimcol, we can see there is an improvement of cardiac muscles, the injury. So what we can get idea from it that the Vimcol, which is always we believe that has a lot of nutrition and good for your health, it also good for heart. Next one. So there are some other parameters that we measure. Those are inflammation parameters. There are several cytokines there, interleukin 6, TNF alpha, interleukin 1 beta. We measure all those interleukins and seen that there is a increase on the cardiac hypertrophy, but after the treatment they all decreases. Next one. So this is kind of oxidative stress, because when the heart goes some kind of disease, especially hypertrophy and heart failure, a lot of free radical production happening. Because of free radical, there's a decrease of antioxidant level like superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione. At the same time, there's an increase of membrane peroxidation, which also said there's oxidative stress. We have seen that Musa balbisiana treatment, they reduce those all those parameters and improve the antioxidant parameter. So I like to tell you that if you take Vimcol every day, is a good for your heart also, because it can reduce inflammation of your heart. Lot of times when it's a viral disease also, there are a lot of cardiomyopathies there. Virus enter to the heart and cause a lot of inflammation. So you can get benefit of it. Oxidative stress, lot of diseases like as I said, heart failure, cardiac hypertrophy. We have seen a lot of oxidative stress. So overall, Vimcol powder is very good, or Vimcol itself is very good to reduce your heart disease. Now we have published that work, whatever I presented, and we also got a patent on the powder because we realized that powder has a lot of good value. So the preparation we made it, with the temperature and the kind of the property of the powder we made it, we took the patent of it, how to preparation point of view. So now you can see here there are two kind of banana is there, Musa balbisiana, which is Vimcol, and Musa assamica, which is a common banana you buy from the market. You see that dietary fiber is high. Dietary fiber is always good for health. Okay, vitamin C is high. You have seen potassium level is high, calcium level is high, zinc level is high, iron is high, and flavonoid is very high. So these are the good things of this Vimcol. So it is really good. It is not that we are long time we are using and we having a traditional knowledge, and even children who don't have a good growth, if they take it few months, they definitely get a good health and they having a good growth. So what we thought, why not think about to make a product? Already you see the market is there. There are some Vimcol product, but we tested them and found that it is mostly milk powder. Vimcol is very less, and when we tested it, we didn't find all those parameters like vitamin C and all fibers was very less. So finally we realized that we need a very good product with the Vimcol. So what we thought that we should start the work, and if we bring it, we need fund. So we apply one project is called BIG. So DBT they give a fund for this, and we got the product. But this the product development is completely different kind of work compared to doing research. I'd like to tell you that when you get a product, this is that TRL 9. So this is technology readiness level 9. So here you can bring the product to the market. But from the beginning, research point to each and every step, you have to think about where I am right now. So when I did some basic research, like I saw that Vimcol has a lot of good effect in heart, that is in TRL 1 and 2, how to make the powder. But when I think about to see the proof that okay, this Vimcol has some good effect, and finally make the technology development, you can bring TRL 5. And after that, if you technology demonstration, that means you are making the product in some small scale or pilot scale. So TRL 6. Then you can make a big production unit where you can go to the TRL 7 and 8 and finally come to the market for selling. So this is the whole process. So when you join after B Farm in a industry, finally you have to make a product so that it can be sell to the market, is it? So we thought we'll start working on that to developing a nutritional product to treat malnutrition. Why malnutrition? As I told you, this banana has a lot of good nutritional value. If you consume it for few months, especially the children, they get a good growth in their health, and they are also they having a higher immunity in their body. So we thought we think about to bring it as a product in the market for malnutrition for the children. So when we started the work, we need a good team. So this is my team, whom I basically work. Like our director was there, Professor Murthy, Professor S.K. Maulik from AIMS Pharmacology Department. They are the advisor of the team. And myself, Dr. Umesh Hebar, who is a MTech Food Technology, who help us. Dr. Rajlakshmi Devi from Assam ISST, who basically have a lot of actual work in this particular banana, and Dr. Saliman from AIMS, who are also gastroenterologist. So these are the team whom we start working together to bring the product. So now malnutrition. It is basically the children, they never get a good nutrient in their body. Because of that, they are stunned. So you can see the health is not good, is it? So if you look actually in the hunger list index in India, in 2000, I think 16, it is like India rank is 97 out of total number is 118. So it looks like that India always below, like rank is so low in the world hunger index list. Even we having a now economy index, our GDP level is very high. Still, we don't understand the importance of nutrition. Our health index is not good at all, especially the children in the all over the country in India. So we have to think about that why our health is not good, especially the children. And you can see a lot of death also happening with the early childhood. So and if you see that almost 24% of world malnourished children is there in India, and 30% of stunned children under 5 years in old. So we thought we should do something and we should think about how to make the product. Okay. So now when we started working on it, why we can take banana, whether children will take it or not, why they take it. So if you look, the banana are the one of the first few solid food or a baby is ever introduced to. Like when they start to children, when they're born and after they take rice and all these things, banana is the one of the first solid food that children introduce and they like it also. And we realized that this banana is the northeast banana and it is not available other part of India. And if we have to produce it, you have to produce here. You have to make the banana here only. And it's evidence-based knowledge. Why is it good? Because already evidence is there. Last maybe 100 years, this area, Assam, they know this banana is good. I don't have to do a lot of research to prove it again. And sustainability is there. Sustainability means the cultivation is possible. Even if you can get a less banana, but if you want, you can make a more banana cultivation. Cost effectiveness is there. And scalability, like if I make the product, whether I can make it big scale or not, those things are there. So what we want to do, our solution is that to bring the banana to a product which having a high reach of nutrition. So this is the all step how we can go for it to make the powder formulation. So if you see, the first part is the collection of banana. Okay, So collection of banana you can go get to the market definitely, but you cannot get a huge amount. So at the beginning we started with a 10 and 20 kgs banana, and we can see in a pilot scale we can make the powder or not. So separation of the seed from the pulp. This is another challenging part. Okay, how to remove the seed? As I said, 50% of the banana is a seed, and to remove it. So we develop one instrument where you to put the banana, and there is a basically drum which is rotated with a centrifugal force. Then where the banana seed is separated out from the pulp, and is successfully we have done huge amount of banana, the pulp separated from the seed. And once you get the pulp, you have to making about slurry with the water. So whether we can make the powder or not. So you can do by two methods. One is spray drying method. You have read it who are the third year, fourth year B Farm student, or you can do spray drying method. So we basically plan to do both spray drying and spray drying to see which one is the best method to go for the powder formulation. And finally, when you get the powder, you have to do the characterize the powder. Like the same way when you make a tablet preparation, when the raw material come to us, we have to go the characterization, their particle size distribution, their flow rate. So same thing you have to do this. If it's a sticky powder, you cannot do any good things with this. And the final product will come, we have to think that formulation part, what will be your formulation, and it can be put in a capsule form. Okay. So this is the step, like what one of my one student actually who is a BTech MTech student who worked with me almost last 2 years, and he developed all the steps, and he finally come up with the powder formulation. Okay. And if you look at how much percentage you get, suppose if I take a 100-gram banana, my powder will be 14 gram. Similarly, if I take a 100-gram banana, 55% will be pulp, and from 55, 25 will be dry powder. That means my yield rate is that if I get a 100 kg banana, I can get only 14 kg dry powder. And this is the different other things. This is not only banana. Yes, there is a good percentage banana is there because this is the main things. But at the same time, as I said, this is a formulation. You have to think about so many things. But we are not added any preservative. We are not added any kind of any synthetic things. All are natural. It's not a three. There are few more things we have added to make the final formulation. But considering that almost 70% of the total powder will be Vimkol powder. Okay. So that the powder was made by 3 different batches. Why I put batch 3, 4, 5? 1 and 2 was just a starting batch to see whether we can make the banana or not. When we are confident, we started working on the batch 3, batch 4, batch 5, where we did a lot of testing of the banana powder. So we collected the banana 3 different places. On January month, we started from Guwahati, collected from Guwahati. Batch 4 we collected April month from Jorhat. And batch 5 we collected from Nolbari 2022. Why we did it 3 different time and different places? Because most of the people believe that if I take a banana from Guwahati, if I have banana from Jorhat or Dibrugarh, there will be different component. We want to see is this really true or they are very much similar. And also that season should not give a lot of variation in the banana component. So these are the different property. When you make the powder formulation, you can see that what are the different things we need to measure before we say we are the best banana powder formulation there with us. We did a lot of LCMS study, which is tell that batch to batch variation is not there. We measure the particle size analyzer, so particle size should be uniform. We have also different pH, conductivity, salt, sodium level, calcium level, potassium, nitrate, which we measure each and every batch. Physical properties like there are important for the tap density, bulk density, car index, Fosner ratio. These are important for the flow property of the powder. We have also measured the flow measurement. We did the change in color. If you put in a room temperature the powder, different time, you can see the color will be changed. That means not a good. We also measure that part. Microbiology. If any food product, if you keep in room temperature, slowly you can see fungus, microbes will come. So we want to check whether the powder we prepare, they should be free of microbes and remain free at least few years. Okay. Nutritional fact. We want to know 100 gram of our formulation, how much energy is there. If you get buy any nutritional product from the market, if you see the company like Horlicks, Bonvita, you see their written measure that. You have to also tell how much percentage of protein, fat, carbohydrate, sugar, fiber is there. You also have to tell how much vitamins are present, all vitamins. Also tell how much minerals are present. So these are the important part of characterize the banana powder. Similarly, you have to tell the shelf life. Every drug we manufacture, we giving a expiry date, is it? So we did the self life study to see that how long if I prepare it, it will be stable, or I can give to the children. So this is a LCMS study. If you say this is a batch 3, batch 4, batch 5, and there are LCMS done by two different methods, negative and positive mode. So if you see the kind of peaks are present, 1, 2, 3, 4, you put it, all three batches that remain all same peak. Similarly, positive mode also, you can see the similar positive, all peaks are present, which tell us that their component are similar, even if it is come from different part of the Assam, like Jorhat, Guwahati, Nalbari, they are the similar banana. No difference into their on the chromatographic part. Similarly, we want to check the physical property. So if you look at density are two types. One is bulk density, tap density. We measure the bulk density and tap density, card index, Hosner ratio. If it is a low, is a good. If it is a Hosner ratio is good, low is a good. If you see the MVP is only the plain powder, banana powder. When you make the formulation, you can see 2.7 to 1.8. If this ratio is down, that means that it has a good flow property. We want to make a good flow property because if we don't make a formulation, the powder will become a lump within a few months. You cannot make the free flowing property, or you cannot easily take it from the any container. So we have to check that after making the formulation, it should be low. Similarly, if you see the three different batch, like this is formulation batch 3, 4, and 5, their particle size is very similar. So 90% of the particle, the range is 554 micron or micrometer, and here also 540 micrometer, here 510. So which tell us that we prepare three different batch, three different methods. The particle size is not variation much. So which also good for us that we can make a very similar uniform product. But we check that our particle size, one of the third batch formulation 554 with the two marketed product ABB and BBB, which is already there in the market, which are much higher particle range, but our is much better. So we realize that our product having a very good particle sizes. Similarly, the flow rate. If I passes the 25 gram of the powder into a funnel, how fast it can cross the funnel? So that formulation, our formulation go 1.10 minutes, while the two marketed product they go 2.5 minutes and 4 minutes. So again, this tells that the proper our powder, the way we prepare it, is having a much better flow rate. Microbiology test, as I said, you have to take the powder, you have to put some water and you centrifuge it, get the supernatant of the water, put it into a plate. So these are the microbiology plate. There is a this LB agar plate is there. So we put that, but none of the plate, after keeping them 24 hours, they got any bacterial colonies, which tells that the product is free of microbes. Now we send that our three batches to the FSSI certified lab. So why FSSI certified lab? I can tell that my product is good. I have this much vitamin, minerals, protein, but nobody believe me if I measure myself. So we send to Mumbai, one of the FSSI certified laboratory. We send all three batches, and they come up with all the values. So as I said, you should know 100 gram how much calories there. It's a 389. This is a very good calorie. If you look the marketed product, they don't cross 300 also. So that means Vimcol powder along with the formulation having a good calorie, which is good for the children. But not only that, they also good amount of protein. That protein was not in banana, but we have added separately. Okay, and also we have had vitamin A, D, C, B1, B2. All those are present that we measure. Similarly, we measure all the minerals like iron, zinc, calcium, and that also, we have seen the three different batch and we found that they are very similar. Now this is self-life testing. Like as I said, we send the powder to the Mumbai, the FSI certified lab. They go for accelerated self-life testing, which can check that how long the powder will be stable. Our testing shows that 24 months of the powder is stable. So we can, once we make the powder, 24th month it can be sell it. So now, this is our product. We make the powder formulation, it is ready to sell it. But before sell it, what you need? You need one permission from FSSAI. Until unless the FSSAI not give a permission, you cannot sell it. So we took permission recently. FSSAI, they given permission to sell our product. When we send all the documents along with all the procedures, even we having a patented of the product, so we got a permission to sell it to the market. So what is the good thing in this whole thing? So we started with the research, then we have think about how to make a product, and finally we come up with the product. So what the benefit we'll get? It is a benefit not from the institute side, not from the personal benefit, but lot of societal benefit is there. So you can say scope of growth of agriculture product. This Vimcol is available, but not available in a very huge amount. So if we can think about start of making the powder formulation, so we need a more banana, so more cultivation is required. So that will give a lot of agricultural growth in this region. Same time, if you make the finished product, you have one production unit. You need to give a lot of jobs to the people. You can give a training also. And finally, if you see that product in the outside, in the other companies' cost, we have seen that 1200 to 1600. But when we saw our product, how much cost will come? 650. So it's a cost effective. And good thing that we can use our evidence based that product which is already known is it having a lot of good effect. Now we can bring to the market and children can also get benefit of it. Similarly, when we started to make spray dyeing product, we also started making the spray dyeing technology. So we develop our spray dye on our own because when you take any food materials and spray it, you need a huge pump which is more powerful, and you having a nozzle where the spraying happening. That has to be different kind of your porosity. So we have designed our own spray dryer, and we have successfully developed the formulation for making spray dryer. And finally, this is the product of our spray dyeing technology. Although we are not taking approval yet to sell it, but this is the product, and it is much finer and it has a much better quality compared to the before what I shown you. And we got a chance to meet our chief minister, and he came and saw our product. We have discussed with him. He's very excited that if you can bring it to the market, it's give a much benefit to the society. That's really good. So you can see the journey, like when we start with the any production or any product, so you need to make the process, but you need to validate it whether it is really happening or not in the technology level, in the formulation level, and also batch to batch variation. We have validated it by different techniques or methods, and finally the end product that also come up in a very well. But the next part is the technology transfer. Now the product can be given to any company who are ready to take it. Otherwise, we can make a production with the help of any investor who want to invest money with us. So we are in the last stage. We are thinking that whether we can make our own, because the product already got approval. We can make our own, but we can make a small scale. We cannot make a very big scale. But at the same time, if we can give to some company who can make a big scale, and that will be much better. So now I like to acknowledge, because you've seen that it is a work for more than 2 years, and it is not done in a one day. So my thank to Bionis team, Naifer Bionis team, who basically helped me different stage of my this research and the product development stages. Kit TBI, this is a Bairak, Kit TBI who give me a support, and the 25 lakh money rupees was given to develop the product. And I have worked, last 2 years to done all the study with the, help of a one person. I'll show you that person who really give a lot of efforts to make the product. And the research part I have shown actually at the beginning, that cardiac hypertrophy, how that banana powder working done by Dr. Sima Kumari, who worked with me, NPDF, is a national postdoctoral fellowship at THSTI when I was there. And after doing the, or completion of the research product, I started working in the products or develop the products with this help of this guy, Mr. Sampath Sil, who is a BTech MTech guy, and who spent a very good time to develop the product. And thank you very much. This is a Naiper campus, and I hope some of you visited. And if not visit, you get an opportunity very soon because we do a lot of workshop every month, and we all the time we asked downtown students they should visit and they should see the kind of opportunity, future opportunity. At the same time, I like to tell you that you who are the third year, fourth year student, think about for the NIPER, how can crack the JE, NIPER JE. At the same time, you have to crack the GPET also because if you having a GPET, you can allow to sit in NIPER JE. And NIPER Guwahati is one of the place where you can do your MS Pharma or MTech Pharma. We have right now 9 branches. And before you planning, you can visit anytime. You can come and you can see our facility. So thank you very much and thanks again for the opportunity. So I'll be happy in any questions, especially from student side. Ask anything. Yes. No? So is there any fourth year students is there? Fourth year student? Please raise your hand for fourth year student. Yes. So you can ask questions fourth year because you are senior, is it? So you can ask the technology point of view. No? Okay then, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are delighted to learn from you today. Now, I would like to request our chairperson for the session, Dr. Saikar Sen, sir, to end this wonderful session with his speech. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So really, this is a wonderful talk since Dr. Sanjay Kumar Banerjee has told. Actually, what he has mentioned, it is a very required at the time because he have not mentioned about the pharmacological or the pharmaceutical investigation, but he have mentioned about the how we can actually based on the traditional knowledge we can start our research and we can come out with the product that is the marketed product. So that is very, very important. So both these lectures will encourage the participants, the delegates to work upon further and to start their journey. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful talk. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Rishika Paul, a student of B Farm 5th semester in Assam Downtown University, and I am going to be your host for this session. Welcome to the scientific session of the International Conference AdtU Pharmacon 2.0. We are delighted to have you join us today as we embark on a journey of knowledge discovery in the world of pharmaceuticals and healthcare. Thank you once again for joining us. Let's begin this extraordinary scientific session with enthusiasm. It is now my privilege to introduce our distinguished guest speaker for this scientific session, Dr. Vibhuti Bhushan Kakoti sir, Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Science, Digrugarh University. Today, he will be discussing functional foods and nutraceuticals, unveiling clinical insights and outcomes. Dr. Kakuti's academic journey has been very remarkable, He holds a PhD from Jadavpur University, focusing on the chemical and pharmacological evaluation of indigenous plants in Assam. His expertise in pharmaceutical sciences was further enriched during his postdoctoral research at the University of South Florida, USA. Dr. Kakati has been imparting knowledge as a professor at Dibrugarh University for several years, shaping the future of pharmacy. What truly sets Dr. Kakati apart is his extensive research portfolio. He has authored 118 publications, including books, articles spanning topics such as ethnopharmacology, nanobiomaterials, and drug discovery. His mentorship has also nurtured the careers of numerous PhD and MPharm students. Beyond academia, Dr. Kakoti is an active member of various scientific communities, serving as a journal reviewer, guest faculty, and holding significant roles in pharmaceutical associations. His multifaceted contributions to education, research, and community service make him an exceptional presence in the pharmaceutical world. Dr. Vibhuti Bhushan Kakoti is a true luminary, and we are privileged to have him with us today. Before we proceed, it is my privilege to invite Dr. Saikat Sen, Sir, Dean of Pharmaceutical Science, who is going to chair the scientific session. I'd also like to request our chairperson to felicitate Dr. Kakoti, sir. Now, I'd kindly request Sir to proceed with the session.
Thank you very much for your nice introduction. So after a sumptuous meal, I think all of you are very, so to call it, a sleepy, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, as I have to go to the topic, so Dr. Banerjee sir has given a very good lecture. Okay, and after that, it's my turn to say a few words, and keeping in contrast with the your topic that your conference committee has kept. Okay, so I thought of making few slides related with the theme, that is your pharmaceuticals fusing with nutraceuticals, ensuring healthy lives and promotes well-being in global trend, organized by the esteemed ASTU and along with other co-compatriots. So first of all, I wanted to say that when we talk about health, when we talk about well-being, so this is a very generalized time. So we say the term, we say that how good is your health? We never ask how much of money you have, how much of wealth you have, but when your health is gone, everything is gone. Okay, so here, in contrast to the part what you have said or what you have given, that pharmaceuticals feeding it nutraceuticals. So all we know, being a pharmaceutical student, pharma student, so our main focus is that to come out with some type of drugs or in the field of drug discovery. Here, what I mean to say that we will discuss something very important points where many pharmaceuticals companies are there, where they have fused with some of the very important nutraceuticals, and they have come out with certain products. So coming back to this, so we know that there are mounting evidence in order to say that the dietary habits are an important determinants of diseases, and of late there has been substantial increase in the use of functional foods and as well as nutraceuticals. So in the world inundated with health advice. So everybody says, well, you take this, you take that, okay, so and so forth. So many things are there. But here I have written a quote that deciphering the true impact of health improving food on diseases can feel like navigating a maze of mixed messages. That means what I mean to say that if someone says that this is right, this is wrong, but you have to decipher, you have to say, you have to know that which type of food or what food additives or what food content can help your health, and you can come out with a way out that, oh, this is the right and this is the wrong. Coming back to that, we know that food is a medicine. Sometimes we take food as a medicine, sometimes people take medicine as a food. Okay, which one is correct? So here we have seen that the utilization of functional foods as well as nutraceuticals are very important in this aspect, and it has become a novel claim supported by significant positive clinical outcomes. So my main focus was that to view or to say something related with the clinical insights and outcomes of the nutraceutical which have been fused with certain pharmaceuticals. So here we have seen what is functional food. If somebody asks you what is functional food, it is more or less like a traditional item having desired or some type of, you can say, pharmaceutical components in them, and you can say that this is good for health. But on the other way around, if we say the nutraceuticals, which was first coined by Dr. Stephen Farich in the year 1989, and he have said two terms, that nutrition fused with pharmaceutical, where we say that nutra-pharmaceutical. Okay, and here there are many things. So any toxoid or any toxic food component that is scientifically proven health benefits, including disease treatment prevention, can also be termed as your nutraceutical. So here I've given certain type of nutraceutical ingredients. All of you know that omega-3 structured lipids. We have the probiotics, prebiotics, phytochemicals, carotenoids. What are the delivery formats? Okay, in what form they are delivered? Well, we know that the foods in semi-solid, solid form. We have the beverages, we have the dietary supplements, as well as the superfoods, health foods, fortified enhanced, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are the functional foods. So in terms of health benefits, so all of us know that health is the priority, and already I have said. And in terms of here, I have said that it provides the body with the required number of vitamins, fats, protein, carbohydrates, and others. Okay, so here we have said that functional foods, they are being classified. Some are the plant derived, some are animal derived, some are microbial functional food, and some are you can say derived from algae and fungi also. I haven't mentioned here, and these are termed in these cases. You can see that in the plant derived part, we have seen this phytoestrogen, antioxidants. Many times we say that antioxidant this and that. Okay, so we have the gamma linolenic acid, phase 2 enzyme induction. You know that enzyme induction plays a very important role, and particularly in the phase 2 part of the liver. Okay, where the conjugative mechanisms are there. So even there are many plant-derived products which are helpful, and they are called it as phase 2 enzyme inducers. So these are also termed, and they are also comes under the functional food. Now, it may be beneficial in many ways. I just wrote few points here. So where you can say it may be helpful in the avoidance of particular diseases with special needs, the nutrient foods or the dense food for the elderly. You can also derive food for the specific people, say for example an elderly person, okay, what type of food he or she wants. So it may be easily available and economically affordable. There are many points, but I have only highlighted these important points which will help us in order to understand what is the very basic of a functional food as well as a nutraceutical. So coming back to the classification, we have a wide form of classification. I do not need to go there in deep. We have the probiotics, prebiotics, dietary fibers, antioxidants, okay. And here I have seen a diagram where I have just taken, this is not my diagram, okay, I have given in other part where what I mean to say with this. So on the right hand side, the red marks you have seen that there is an elevated level, the person has suffered from inflammation, the person has suffered from so and so for several diseases. So here decreased sensory nerve conduction, tingling sensation, it may be diabetes, it may be cardiovascular disease, it may be cancer, it may be so and so for so many. And on the right hand side, you see the nutraceutical antioxidants which are already established. Okay, these are already established and they are helpful in analgesia, in removing or in alleviating pain. They are helpful in the improvement of nerve conduction velocity. Okay, so there are many nutraceuticals, there are many pharmaceuticals which are helpful in the relieving this type of, you can say, nerve impulses. And we have certain drugs or certain pharmaceuticals which are available where they give positive action on the mitochondrial metabolism. And now, I think all the fourth year students may be knowing, MPharm students may be knowing, the stress is now one of the very important factors. So we call it as the mitochondrial stress, okay, or we call it as the mitochondrial dysfunction. So here we have seen the dietary patterns, because all of us know that diet is one very important part in terms of preventing, or you can say forecasting, certain diseases. So yes, today Honorable Vice Chancellor sir has said already, I think you may be there at that time, when he said that eating some different type of foods or eating bad foods, no doctor can help you in that particular thing. Okay, so diet is very important here, and you can see that the person is giving his or her blood in order to see whether he or she is a diabetic. Okay, second part, you can see the obesity, which is again related with some cardiovascular disorders. We have seen these atherosclerotic plaques in the last diagram, where different type of plaques or triglyceride levels, cholesterol levels are very high, and you can see that the person heart is also in under stress, and there may be heart arrest at any point of time. So we have different type of diets. I am not going in detail for the diet. So we have this Mediterranean diet. Okay, some say that this Mediterranean diet is very good, but I'm not going in detail in this water diet, this diet. We have this DASH diet also. Okay, this is a bookish knowledge where I just copied from some books as well as some internet information. Okay, and these are from good books where they have said that these dietary approaches to stop hypertension. And hypertension, all of you know, it is nothing but high blood pressure, which affects the individual, and it is the largest killer disease, single disease, which kill most of the people. Okay, so the largest killer disease in our country is nothing but we call it as a hypertension. So there is a particular diet for this dietary approaches to stop hypertension. We call it as DASH diet, which encompasses, you can see, the plant-based diet regime. And also we have certain type of portfolio diets where it is designed to target the reduction, okay, of certain things. Say, for example, you have the Vega diet. People say that vegetarian diet. Some people might be fond of this. We cannot say that these are vegetarian. They take milk, but they do not take eggs. Some take eggs, and they do not take milk. And we have said the ovo-vegetarian diet. We have this lacto-vegetarian diet. We have the vegan diet. Okay, any of these. So the another diet, what we have seen is that your Okinawan diet. Okinawa is an island, okay, which is in the eastern province of the China and Philippines, okay, and it was said that the people from the Japan, okay, are the highest living people in the world. Okay, their longevity is very good. That means they live more than 90 to 95 years at an average. So it was studied, and 9,000 something people were taken into account, and they have found out that this Okinawan diet is responsible. Their diet is responsible, and most of the people, they are devoid of these cardiovascular diseases. They are devoid of some type of, you can say, problems what we do have. And they have said that low consumption of sugary foods and drinks are important, and eating slowly and mindfully. Eto ta khub damar kotha ha. Eto koise je you have to eat very slowly, very mindfully. Okay, so this is one of the very important aspect. If you go to the Okinawan diet and you just type it and you check it in the Google, so you will get huge number of literatures where they are saying that the mortality and morbidity rates are so slow, so less as compared to that of the people who are not confined to this specific diet. Okay, so this one already. So sorry. So here we say that the nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals. Okay, two things are there. Some people say that let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So which one is correct? So either shall we go for this nutraceutical or shall we go for this pharmaceutical? So in nutraceutical, you can see the low potency, weak interaction with targets, pleiotropic intervention, that is gene interactions. Okay, you know that pleiotropic intervention specifically with a single gene, and we have the inhibition of disease, long-term indications, applications, and effects, empirical low-cost incidents. Whereas in the other part, you can see in the pharmaceutical part, generally there are high potency, strong interaction with targets. We have more specific interventions, physiology mechanisms, treatment of disease. And particularly, these pharmaceuticals are related for that particular part, apart from the nutraceuticals that I have shown. So here we have a book. Okay, so that book was published by the CRC Press way back in 2017, and under the CRC Press, and Functional Foods and Nutraceuticals, an overview of clinical outcomes and evidence-based type. Okay, so there we have seen that all of you know curcumin. Very well-known term. Okay, everybody say curcumin, and if you write a paper, even I have written a project. Okay, my project was turned down because you have said that there is so much of work in curcumin. Why you have given this? So I have given certain derivatives, curcumin and curcumin derivatives in the prevention of cancer using certain cell line models and others, but it was not accepted. And I think all of you know that curcumin, Itomi haldipa curcuma longa, and other species. So it's one of the very well-known drug, and it's a phytopharmaceutical mission also. It has come like anything, but the most problem with curcumin is the solubility and the stability. However, there are many nowadays liposomic preparations, nano formulations of curcumin has come, and it has taken care of all the things. So we have the phytosomal curcumin supplement given in the form of phytosome. You have the curcumin supplement, and you see that 5991, the thing which I have written is the reference number in my paper only. And there are all the things, the anti-infertility, improves semen quality, and so on and so forth. So many things are there. So we have the resveratrol. I think all of you know resveratrol. It's from the grapes, okay, red wine, which contains the resveratrol. And resveratrol, omega-3 fatty acids, okay, these are extensively used. And nowadays, they have gained momentum and has huge and high health benefits. Okay, so we have the resveratrol supplement. We have plain resveratrol along with the lycopene, which it comes in the, you can say, lycopene ko take, who can say? Lycopene, it's present in tomatoes, okay. So this lycopene is another naturally occurring antioxidant. All of us know oxidative damages, it prevents cellular damages, it prevents. So they are present in supplement, you can see, they slows the progression of heart failure, anti-obesity, and other things also. And whereas in the isoflavones, which are present, so there are many polyphenols, phytosterols, green tea polyphenols, epigallocatechin, malate. Okay, so these are highly, you can say, well-known products, well-known nutraceuticals which are available, and they are helpful in many purposes, which I have shown in improve cancers, improve systemic lupus erythematosus. You see, there are many diseases where it cannot be cured. Out of them, you have this, your autism. We have disease like this SLE. We have disease like that, your some type of cancers where it is very difficult to control, and it has been found out that this type of tea or tea polyphenolic compounds, okay, bioactives, has been you can say developed in order to take care of all these, you can say, diseases. So we know that the genetic factor, whether we inherit certain genetic, you can say, predisposition. Environmental factor, it may be your fumes, it may be some type of, you can say, industrial waste where you are exposed to, metals, neurotoxins, and so forth. And we have the aging. Okay, so this all causes certain type of oxidative stress in our body. So I've already said this mitochondrial stress. Please go and you check it. What is mitochondria? What this mitochondrial stress means. So all this oxidative stress, means they are responsible for causing certain type of imbalances in our body, more specifically protein aggregation, misfolding of proteins, or you can say this DNA methylation and so on and so forth. Because you are students, we cannot go beyond to a certain extent. If you ask me, I can say. And you see the curcumin, resveratrol, epigallocatechin, EC, EGCG, then coenzyme Q10 and others. They alter various pathways, okay, various inflammatory pathways and other pathways, and take care of all this. And they are helpful in some types, the neuroinflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction, endoplasmic reticulum stress. We have altered autophagy, apoptosis, neurotransmitter, neurotropic factors, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this one example which I want to show is that a fusion of nutraceutical with pharmaceutical. Okay, so in your thing they have given that pharmaceutical fusing with nutraceutical, which is in very contrast to today's topic. So I have shown that there is a concept where we say that sulforaphane. I think many of you might have heard sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is nothing but it is a plant. Okay, 11 varieties of plants are there which comes under the sulforaphane, and they have used sulforaphane. I've given your biomedicine and pharmacotherapy team. I think it's a very 2023 report only, not whole report, a February report. You can see this journal. So they have said that with doxorubicin. Now doxorubicin is an anti-cancer drug which is given in triple negative breast cancer. Okay, and when we talk about cancer, it reminds us the very important things, that is the targets. So if we do not know the targets, it is very difficult. In triple negative cancer, it's like that, where the targets are very difficult. So we have the estrogen receptors, we have the progesterone receptors, we have the HER2 receptors, where these three receptors are expressed. But here, there are certain problems where the receptors expression takes place, but you cannot target these receptors with certain drugs. Okay, so if you read properly, what do you mean by triple, you can say, negative breast cancer? You can go through it. And then this they have tested with this sulforaphan with doxorubicin, which is a you can say antibiotic, anti-cancer antibiotic, and they have gone out with certain liposomes. You know, liposomic drug delivery is a system where you can say round shape, both the hydrophilic and you can say lipophilic moiety can be encapsulated there. And you have seen that in vitro, in vivo toxicity assays are being carried out, and they have said that SFN increases DOX nuclear accumulation and mitosis inhibition. That means, so the mitotic spindle that is responsible in the cell division, cell proliferation, okay, is stopped, and we can say that this is a very good anti-cancer agent. It is also done by plain doxorubicin, but when this nutraceutical, particularly your sulforaphan, was given along with that, so there was a synergistic action. You know, we have additive action, we have synergistic effect, we have agonist effect, antagonist effect, partial agonist, partial antagonist. Okay, here we say that this is a synergistic effect has been seen, and this SFN act in energy with DOX to reduce primary breast cancer up to 20%, and in vivo reports. Okay, and this has also shown that nephro and hepatoprotective activity. Most of the drugs are toxic, so they are, we call it as, this cannot be given, and in cancer, you know that if there is low platelet count, so radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and other things cannot be given. As such, when you give it this, they have shown that they have nephro and your hepatoprotective efficacy. I have also shown one slide where we have shown that nano. I'm not going in detail to the nano part because all of you know what does nano means, and you see nutraceuticals are also nowadays being tested, and it is to be given through nano forms. And there are certain advantages. I do not need to go, all of you know that this nano delivery of curcumin, how it happens, and when without nano form, if the curcumin is given, so can it go and it reach a particular target? Okay, if I say I need to send the drug to the interior part of the brain or the posterior part of the eye, so can you give it, or there are certain problems in that? Okay, so there are certain you can say hindrances where you do that. So these are some of the important nutraceuticals, not pharmaceuticals, nano nutraceuticals which are available. And these are the properties. They have wide number of properties. You have this another chart where I have prepared the total therapeutical effects of recent nutraceuticals. There are many nutraceuticals that have come to the market, and amongst them, so this you can see on the disease. So in what disease they are being used for? Okay, so they have many of them have got this FDA license, and that means recommendation. So in order to sell the products. And we have in the first, Pulap Mukherjee sir, you have said something about omics. And if I say omics, I think it's in your syllabus. So omics is the integrative, you can say, part of everything, all the constituents of a cell. So this omic technology plays a very important role in nowadays. So we have this genomics, proteomics, transcriptomics, metabolomics, nutrigenomics, epigenomics, and so on and so forth. So and so many things are there where we call it as the omics. Okay, so please read this omics part also. Then you will try to understand that in terms of metabolite, we call it as the metabolite profiling or metabolomics study, which will let you. So if there is any phenotypic variation in your study, okay, in that outcome, or if there is any type of, say, we can call it as biological marker, so that is present there, we can ascertain with the help of metabolomic study. So genomics and proteomics are all. You can know the structure of these proteins. You can know the structure of the genes. All the you can say single gene polymorphism, SNPs and others. Okay, so with genomics, proteomics, and it is a nutrigenomics, nutrition with genes. Okay, if your genes are not working fine, so we can say the nutrition will also have an indifferent effect on that. Okay, so these are the, you can say, I'm not going to discuss in detail. So metabolomics, epigenomics, and nutromicromics, these are the study. You can just go through it. You can just Google search. You will get this information. And the changing landscape. You see, at the earlier time, the nutraceutical company, they were hardly getting any chance to enter the market. But with the advance of time, in 1990s, only 10%. But after that, you can see in 2010, this is the 2010, not 2010. After 2010, it has gained momentum. Okay, so another part where I need to focus is that 82% of the people don't trust nutraceutical companies, and 71% of people don't trust pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so this is which I got an information, and they have taken the N is equal to 9,904. That means 9,904 subjects were taken. Okay, some of them are disease volunteers, and their source is internal server. We have the microcellular sciences, so one of the very leading company in the United States. So they have said that this is the particular thing. And the finding the needle in the haystack is now very important. They have gone some with some genetic analysis of mechanism of action. Unless and until we do not know which are the genes that are responsible. So some are upregulated, some are downregulated, some are in inverse, some have no differences. So it's very difficult. And you can see that 20,000 genes and that resulting in a mountain of data we get it. Okay, and this ranking the genes into upregulated, downregulated, no difference of expression makes the data more interpretable, and we can easily find out with the help of this genomic studies. Okay, so which will be helpful. So preclinical studies, I think all of you know, you have done it. Your preclinical studies, not clinical studies, preclinical studies related with, you can say, animal models. So using animal models are again certain type of problems are there. You need ethical committee clearances are required. Okay, huge cost, and you know that maintaining the animal house is also a problem. Nowadays, there has been a radical shift. Okay, in trying to understand in alternative models, alternative organisms. But in BFARM, finally, I don't think you have been exposed to animals. So there are certain type of other simulation methods where you can do. So the neutral biosystems, they utilize the zebrafish and C. elegans as a model. And they have said that these models are always related with that 84% and 98% similarity with that of the human genes. Okay, so studies that have been carried out, you can say, get it back that this type of things will also be, you can say, results in human volunteers. So they have come out with these mitochondrial damages. Okay, the first one is that in young and second one is old, and they have find out that it is found to be that in particular health and aging. Okay, age in that means aged people, so that this is conserved in both humans and model system, leading to claim of supports or promotes that longevity. That means they have come out with certain studies where I show here. Okay, so here the preclinical models can inform a company, nutraceutical company can be well known. That means what is happening, how we can market it, provided you have a very good report with you. Okay, the way Sarah just now said, that you need to have FSSAI certification. That means that company, that your product is good, it is reliable, and you can market it. So unless and until the companies can fine-tune their products, they cannot sell it. So there are certain drawbacks also. So these omics studies, transcriptomics, metabolomics, and studies have fueled the genomic revolution. I think you all know that what is the genomic revolution, that after the whole human genome project. So there are radical changes in the drug discovery processes. I did not need to go in detail on that. So currently these tools are being used to create patent protectable formulation, attract investors, and build better branded ingredients. So this is another part where they have used microsciences. So the genetic analysis and mechanism of action. So with lifespan, health, aging, brain, heart, skin, immunity, immunization, inflammation, weight gain, and stress. Each and every part they have seen, and they have targeted certain genes, and they find out that this particular product, these nutraceuticals are really, they do possess health effects. So they have, this is the one which I've already said. And there are many challenges now that are being faced by the nutraceutical market. So we should not say that everything is good, everything is bad. There are many challenges that comes on our way. So the product have to go for right pricing. Pricing is very important. Now we have another thing, that is economics, pharmacoeconomics. Okay, so you can go to the pharmacoeconomics unless and until your brand is not of, you can say, economically sound. So that means we cannot purchase it. You are not economically sound, we cannot purchase, or I cannot purchase it. So FSSAI has given certain licensing part where the registration and the license part is very difficult. Okay, so Indian government has also now taken initiatives, as you know, that Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana, I think we do have in our university, and we are going to have now this Pradhan Mantri, this Janaushadhi, your pharmacy. Okay, we are still working on that. It's not feasible due to our labs. Okay, we have to open that. And they have said that they have given certain things, and it was launched by the Department of Pharmaceuticals way back in 2008, but many of the institutions are not beyond that. And Indian nutraceutical market, I have said, now has a huge potential. Okay, so apart from pharmaceutical, I have said, it's already known. So Indian nutraceutical market has gained huge, you can say, dimension in terms of its your selling and in terms of its your nutritional benefits. Okay, so the intake of dietary supplements, here I have written few slides. lines is generally safe, but not totally without risk. Various nutraceuticals have been associated with more severe adverse effects. The possibility of toxicity arises, and all of us know that toxicity is the major issue. You cannot say a drug is safe unless and until the toxic or the side effects, adverse effects, untoward effects are not there or are minimum. Okay, so here there is a like pharmacovigilance. There is also a nutravigilance. Okay, very recently, the name care hospitals, they have undertaken one program day before last week. So on pharmacovigilance, okay, we have the pharmacovigilance program of India. Our department is also involved with that. So this is National Pharmacovigilance Program. So here, like that, we have the phytovigilance with the nutravigilance and others, where vigilance has to be taken, care has to be taken whether these products are really good, they're really having health benefits or not. So here, this that now let us come to the another important slide. So where the health benefit claim that they have said that neuroprotective against toxins. So they have taken this C. elegans. Okay. So and ultimately mitigating protein aggregation, enhancing neuronal survival and function, modulating neuroinflammation, and finally the cognitive functions and behaviors. So all these are being taken care of using certain type of food compounds, and this C. elegans as an in vivo model, and they have tested with all the beta amyloid, all of you know, particularly in Alzheimer and all. Okay, we have these tau proteins, development of beta amyloid, and which leads to forgetfulness, loss of memory. Okay, so dementia, and these are there. We have these antioxidants, anti-obesity. Obesity is a very important thing. With it is again related with cardiovascular and other type of disorders. We have this antimicrobial. Now all of you know that antimicrobial resistance is an alarming, you can say, part. Okay. So now systems biology, as our earlier speaker has said, that your computational biology has come to the where you can go, we can see the effectiveness of that particular thing in terms of your anti-disease compounds and targeted genes. We can target the gene of our interest, okay, and this gene is not expressing, or this gene is expressing, overexpressing, and we can find out the proteins, and ultimately we can take care of everything. Okay, so here the mitochondrial part I have shown that you see that MitoQ is the first, world's first, we can say that antioxidant, and they have come out with this oxidative stress and this altered mitochondrial dynamics, okay, dysfunction, or you can say dysregulation of the mitochondria, and ultimately the powerhouse of the cell. When we say it gives so much of disturbances, so much of wrong signals, ultimately the cellular circuit or the integrity of the cellular processes is not in a normal fashion. Okay, so the evaluated nutraceutical agents and their mechanism of action, I need not need to go in detail regarding the mechanism of action, because omega-3 fatty acids, okay, you know that omega-3 fatty acids is one of the very important fatty acids which are found in, you can say, in fish. Okay, so these are very, very important. So the N-acetylcysteine, S-adenosylmethionine, then vitamin D gene, L-tryptophan. Okay, these are very, very important, you can say, nutraceuticals which are helpful in many ways. And there are many studies also. Lately, we have also started one drug where we are, you can say, giving a drug. So, for example, there's glutathione, which is coated with paclitaxel, targeting the cells, you can say, your C6 glioma cells, and trying to find out that the invasiveness of the drug with glutathione really works better or not. So this glutathione, as such, we can call it as a naturally occurring antioxidant or this naturally occurring drug. And this is useful in the treatment of some type of brain cancers and all, where this nutraceutical fused with a particular, you can say, drug. The drug already you know that it's a paclitaxel is a well-known anti-cancer drug. So that particular thing we are going to do, and it's not being finished. We are still on that. Here, the toxicity evaluation of nutraceuticals is very important. You have to know the toxicity of anything. We should not say that the products are good, and this is better or everything, but we have to know the side effects, we have to know the adverse effects, we have to know, and all of you know what you understand by acute toxicity, subacute toxicity, chronic toxicity. These are the works where we very often do in our lab. Okay, and we have different models. We need to find out the CNS part, peripheral part, other toxicity issues. And if these are good, then only, and in many cases, that nutraceuticals which contains aloe vera and which contains green tea, okay, they have certain problems because they contain some phytotoxins, metals, pesticides, particularly green tea. There are certain type of anthocyanins if it is present, if it is adulterated. So these anthocyanins again give some type of bad effects, so which should not be. So this standardization is another part where Pulap Mukherjee sir had said how to standardize the botanicals, how to standardize the herbal products. We have to understand, and nutraceuticals is also not, you can say really get, you can say, free from this type of things. Okay. So you know that evaluation, neurotoxicity, genotoxicity, nephrotoxicity, safety pharmacology. So safety pharmacology, which has come very lately, and we all have this particular course in our MPharm where we teaches every types of toxicity, particularly your dermal toxicity, oral toxicity, ocular toxicity, and so and so forth with different type of drugs. What is happening? Okay. So regarding the regulatory part, so the regulation, the ethics are also important there. You can see the China, Japan, India, US, European nation, they have their own regulatory act which are framed, and they also have their regulatory motive. So you cannot come out with a product unless and until you do not have a proper regulation in the product. So nutraceuticals again can be, or functional foods also. Okay, there are difference between functional foods and nutraceuticals. So here in nutraceuticals, they are, you can say, regulated by different authorities, and we have the government authorities where they gives us the permission. We have the Brazil, Canada, in Australia, and New Zealand. They have their own party to take care of all these things. Okay. Another part where I need to focus is that, you see, nutraceuticals have even reached to the space. Okay, when you talk about outer space where microgravity is there, I just when preparing this slide, I saw in the internet that there's a very good paper which you can say it came in very lately. Okay, yes, PMC 87450 number. So I haven't written all the things; it is not possible. So they have worked with some nutraceutical, and you have seen that there are certain diseases. Okay, this osteogenesis imperfecta is another, you can say, disease which takes place due to, you can say, mineral resorption that takes place. So the bone density comes down. So they have found out, working with some type of astronauts, that some type of nutraceutical, they have culture and they have done it in murine models, animal models, using your 7F2 cell lines, and they have found out that these nutraceuticals, along with pharmaceutical, is having a good synergistic value. So here, this paper, you can go through it. The nutraceuticals synergistically promote osteogenesis in culture, 7F2 osteoblast, and mitigate inhibition of differentiation and maturation in simulated microgravity. Okay, so these are some of the things which came to me, and although it's not my research product, so I just need to say a few lines here. So everything what depends on your health is your food. Okay, so we need to take care of the food that we eat. Okay, obesity is nowadays a very, you can say, great term. Okay, anywhere we go, that obese. So you have to reduce your body mass index to that. Your height is this much, your weight should be this much, and you have to take care of your health. So with these few words, I end up with my presentation, which is not at all a research work of mine. I got these slides. I wrote some you can say words from my own, which came to me, and it is very nice to see that all of you are hearing so patiently. And these are some of my references, and already I said you just type my name and you can go to the functional foods, you will get a paper, and where I have written mostly, I think 2017, and it was published, and in a book with CRC Press. And also now we are working on another project where we are going to work, and it is your glutathione coated paclitaxel in order to treat certain type of cancers. Okay, so these are the few references. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to come before you, to speak before you. Few lines related with your pharmaceutical fusing with nutraceutical. Thank you very much. So if any questions from anybody, anyone? So if there are no questions, then we can, yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, my question is, doxorubicin have a ADR, that is potential cardiac toxicity. And if we use sulforaphane along with doxorubicin as a synergistic effect, will it reduce the cardiac toxicity will come?
No, that is not. It's a nice question for me, and I haven't gone through it details. I only checked it that the sulforaphane, when given with doxorubicin as very often it has some this cardiotoxic effects. What you have said, I'm not saying that. I am saying the sense in that doxorubicin as such is having some type of you can say drawbacks. Moreover, it is having a very good anti-cancer property. Okay, so research have shown that this particular sulforaphane matlab, so we have 11 type of sulforaphane foods, even the sprouts, broccoli, okay, beets, those are having this sulforaphane in that. What they have done, sulforaphane combined with doxorubicin had gained, you can say, there is a synergistic effect. That means it has increased the doxorubicin effectiveness in that particular tumor cell. Okay, other parts I'm not sure about whether it is having or not because it's not a work of mine. Secondly, the use of the sulforaphane and how much amount of you will have to use it. You have to optimize the formulation. Okay, so that it should not be more, it should not be less. It should be optimized level. So in doing that, they have used some quality by design. So the design expert softwares are there. They have used that particular software. You can see and you can go to the paper which I have given. So you can see that they have used the QBD design software where they mix these two and trying to find out where. And it has shown good results. If the cardiac toxicity without this sulforaphane was there and with sulforaphane is also there, something can be done. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So one more question. There is a drug, paclitaxel.
Yeah.
Yeah, paclitaxel. Paclitaxel is also used in combination with doxorubicin.
Yeah.
Will it be the sulforaphane? Will it be more effective than
No, that
paclitaxel?
we, unless and until we do not do, we cannot say. We have done one study that in paclitaxel coated with glutathione. Okay, so the glutathione is a naturally occurring antioxidant which is present in many parts of our body, particularly in the you can say brain. So when you coat the paclitaxel with that your you can say glutathione, so the you can say the your blood-brain barrier permeability increases, and there is high concentration of this drug. So we can say that we can reduce the T half and we can do some other E also. Okay, then it will be helpful. And till we are working on that, we haven't published anything on that. Still, we are on that particular stage. Okay, so I'm not sure unless and until we do not do with paclitaxel, but two are different anti-cancer. We cannot give these two drugs together or simultaneously. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
So any more questions? If no questions are there, we can go because we are running late. Our next speaker is there. No more? Secretary? Okay, then thank you very much. So I'll hand over the mic to my next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your expertise and invaluable knowledge with us today. And thank you all for your active participation in this session. Now I'd like to call Dr. Saikat Sen, sir, to wind up the session.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening talk. It is really a wonderful session since you have highlighted the wonderful researches which is going on while fusing the pharmaceuticals and the nutraceuticals, and actually how the nutraceuticals can play important role in future and promote the well-being. Thank you, sir, once again for accepting our invitation and delivering your lecture. And I hope that this lecture will be helpful for all the delegates to understand the aspect of pharmaceutical and nutraceutical in better way. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable speech talk for the session. Now we'd like to proceed with our next session, but before that, we would like to felicitate our internal member, Dr. PC Sharma, sir. I request Dr. Sekit Sen, sir, to do the honors. Sir, बोलिए नहीं तीन दिन नाले तुमका सुरंगा मारले है बोले सॉरी एक सेकंड और एक पास कर दीजिए दो स्पेशल गेस्ट Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Bhaskar Jyoti Gogoi, sir, to come on the dais. And I request our Dean, sir, Dr. Sekit Sen, sir, to felicitate him with a token of love. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Ms. Anindita to continue with our next session. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Anindita Raimia, your host for this session. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Anindita Raimia, your host for this session. Now, we'll proceed to our fourth scientific session. For this session, we have our guest of honor, Dr. Prasenjit Manna, Principal Scientist, Biological Science and Technology Division, CSIR, Northeast Institute of Science and Technology, Jorhat, Assam. Dr. Manna has a successful track record comprising experience, commitment, and high impact publication in isolating bioactive molecules from medicinal plants, conducting studies with diabetic animals and drug, as well as environmental toxin-induced organ pathophysiology, and understanding basic molecular mechanisms. Dr. Manna has published 120 articles in peer-reviewed journals and has an H index of 59 and total citation of 9,291 Google Scholar as of June 2023. Dr. Manna's work suggested the beneficial role of bioactive natural product against diabetic and its associated organ pathophysiology using both animal and cell culture models. In addition, he has also investigated the mechanism of environmental exposed nanostructure induced organ pathophysiology. He has an experience in isolation and characterization of bioactive molecules of traditional Indian medicinal plants and microbes. During his postdoctoral doctoral fellowship. Dr. Manna has worked on the role of micronutrients such as vitamin D, vitamin K, and many more in insulin signaling pathways using high-fat diet-induced type 2 diabetic animals and cell culture models of monocyte, adipocyte, liver, and muscle. The long-term goal of his research is to discover a relatively low-cost dietary supplement that could be used as an adjuvant therapy for the prevention of obesity, insulin resistant, vascular inflammation, type 2 diabetes, and CVD risk factor associated with metabolic syndrome. Dr. Prosenjit Manna, sir, is a truly inspiration, and we are privileged to have him us today. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Chairperson, Sir, Dr. Pratap Chandra Sarma, Sir, to felicitate our guest. Please, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Prosenjit Manna, sir, to take over the dais. Please, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon, one and all. Distinguished speakers, respected seniors, and also the faculty members of Downtown University and dear students. At first, I'm very happy to visit the university again after the COVID, and I'm truly honored to be in the Downtown University because, like the last 4 5 years, I've been regularly coming, and students are also visiting at NIST also for different say their project purpose also, and somehow I do have a very kind of a close association with this university, and I feel very happy to be here. And thank you all once again for inviting me in this nice conference. So today I would like to give my presentation on the say fermented food for managing the diabetes. So last couple of years we are doing this fermented soy food of Northeast India and its prophylactic activities. Let us go through my presentation. So if you can see this global scenario as well as the Indian scenario for this prevalence of the diabetes mellitus, you can see this diabetes it is increasing globally. The prediction to 2019, it has a prediction of 463 million. By 2045, it will be 700 million. So like a 51% increase. So in the recently, so one study has been published by the ICMR in the national professional study. Here we can see this overall that the prevalence of the diabetes is say 11.4%, and the pre-diabetes is the 15.3%. And so like this study is that we are looking for a in Indian scenario of the diabetes, and interestingly, if you can go through this literature, you'll be finding the prevalence of the diabetes, especially in the say Manipur, Mizoram, and the Nagaland, in their rural as well as in the urban population, in the middle range or the lower compared to the other northeastern states of India. Because like every time like the people are asking like okay, say diabetes, like okay, we do have a kind of a like we all are kind of a more aware of the diabetes rather than the doctor. Like people know everything, and so but this study gives us a huge kind of a idea or knowledge what are the prevalence of the, both the diabetes as well as the pre-diabetes. So, like coming to the famous position of the health as stated by the WHO in 1940, it is the complete physical, mental, and social well-being, but and not really the absence of disease or infirmity. So, like the food you eat that affects the quality of your life. So, say being a lifestyle disorder, say food habit, physical activity that may have an important impact on the diabetic pathophysiology. So interestingly, it has been observed that if you can go through the say the prevalence, say the Southeast Asian population, say they have a lower prevalence of the diabetes, where the consumption of the fermented soy food is a tradition. If you can see that the Vietnam, like South Korea, in those populations, so if you can draw a triangle, including the Northeast India and the Southeast Asian countries, if you can particularly check is that the Korea, Japan, they have a huge tradition of eating this fermented soy food. Even the like the America, like while I was doing my postdoc at that time, I have found that this fermented soy food, it is kind of selling commercially. So and people, those who are eating it, they have a very kind of a they do like to take that it continuously, and it is very much helpful because of the high nutrient and phytoestrogen and small molecular proteins, bacteria, peptides, and very helpful substances are there. And as you can see, say this fermentation it causes the production of this active isoflavone, bioactive peptides, folate, vitamins in the active form, and on the other side, it reduces the content of the allergens, which is present mainly in this raw soybean, like the glycerin, beta-carotene, and also it reduces this agglutinin, and also like they say marbapose and raffinose, those content has also been reduced, and protease inhibitors, specifically that content has also been reduced with this fermentation. Now, coming to this fermented soy food, see like a huge array of health benefits is in there. We recently published one article in the Food Bazaar. So there we have discussed that what are the health benefits of the soy food. You can see, say, starting from say liver, GI tract, skeletal muscle, blood, like adipose tissue, all aspects of the metabolic disorders. So people have worked on this fermented soy food on this their health benefit. Now coming to the soy food. So like the soy, we know it has a huge content of the protein. People used to take the soybean instead of say animal protein. So, but as we know that thing say taking this raw soy protein, some people have the problem of the allergenicity and also the indigestion. Those kind of issues are there. So they are kind of, but soy protein they do have also the tremendous anti-diabetic potential. But as I said, that it causes the allergenicity, problem of agglutination, indigestion. So that's why this fermentation it causes this hydrolysis and anti-nutrient proteins is got down, and also it increases this dry protein weight and consumption of these proteins also. It also improves the solubility. After you do the fermentation, so the isolate the protein, you will find that those proteins are easily soluble in the water, However, the raw soy protein, they do have a form of the coagulation type of thing. And also that the fermentation, it causes the production of the bioactive peptides. So like the many proteins in their active form is kind of a certain portion. So like those things that will be after fermentation, we found that things so many kind of a bioactive peptides and important amino acid content is increasing. So those which are helpful for your health benefit. So, as I said, so in the northeast India, so people used to prepare this fermented soy food in different way, and say Arunachal, it is nomenclature as a Peruvian, Nagaland it is Afghani, Manipur it is Hawaiian, Mizoram it is Beka, Meghalaya it is Chungumbai, and Sikkim it is Kinema. Assam people are not using, and Tripura also people are not using this fermented soy food. So and also they say different traditional. So they do have a kind of a different ways of preparation of the fermented soy food. Somebody used to say like they boil and dehusking this the outer shell and then they do the fermentation. Somebody used to do it after boiling directly, and also they are using say, different kind of leaves during this fermentation procedure because they wrap with that particular leaves and put it in the at a temperature of the 37 to 40 degrees centigrade. So, like as I said, that different studies as before our studies say the fermented soy foods of Northeast India people have done some work on their health promoting properties. However, before our studies, the proper pharmacological and therapeutic potential, less study was there in terms of the anti-diabetic efficacy. So we have started to examine the anti-diabetic potential of the protein isolates prepared from this indigenous fermented soy food of Northeast India. And we use say simple say alkaline extraction procedure for the isolation of this like the soy protein. So taking this raw sample and also parallelly we use the like the same cultivar of the non-fermented portion also. And we used say isolated precipitation and then like the little procedure it is there. So after this protein isolate we make it the freeze dried so that it will be kind of stored properly. And for the screening procedure, since we will be investigating this, say our known main aim was to investigate the anti-diabetic potential. So we use say the C2 C12 muscle cell line because we know that the muscle side is a major site of this glucose absorption property in our body. So approximately 70% glucose is being consumed by the muscle for its regular activity. And we have used say, this differentiated this muscle cell line to this myotube. Okay, so then different concentration of the like the fermented like the sample starting from 2.5 to 10 milligram per ml. We have treated this cells, and as a glucose supplement, we use a high glucose exposure that is the 25 millimolar of high glucose, and we used the giving this high glucose concentration for the 20 hours. And after that, we have started this experiment. And also we have performed this animal studies also, where we have used a high fructose high fat diet fed animal model of the type 2 diabetes. And in the animal thing, we have given say 0.1, 0.5, 1 and 2 mg per kg body weight, and giving the supplement for the 16 weeks. So you can see that thing, say like when you are feeding these cells with this say high glucose, say compared to the different fermented soy protein isolate, that is the HPI, that is the Hawaiian protein isolate, that the Hawaiian is the fermented soy protein soy food of the Manipur. It is showing a tremendous increase in the glucose utilization. That is means like okay, we are using the cells, feed the cells with the high glucose, that is the 25 millimolar. And so in the high glucose treated cells, whenever you are adding this Hawaiian protein isolate, cells are consuming more glucose. That means that they reducing this glucose from your cell culture supernatant to the inside the cell. That means their blood glucose can consume it. Okay. So after that, we have examined if the glucose uptake, glucose 6-phosphate concentration inside the cells. And as I said, so like this, since we have found that the Heuser is showing this beneficial effect, we will use this non-fermented counterpart. And you can see, say like okay, this supplementation with this Heuser protein isolate, it increases the cellular glucose uptake, glucose 6-phosphate concentration also. But when you are using this non-fermented counterpart, there is no significant effect has been observed. However, none of the treatment they didn't cause any cytotoxicity. It says that in this the concentration we are using, it is kind of safe to that cells, and compared to the non-fermented counterpart, fermented soy protein isolate, it has a glucose lowering potential in cell culture system. So coming to this signaling mechanism, that how cells are uptaking this glucose. So you can see, so when insulin it binds with the insulin receptor in your cell surface, and it is a tyrosine kinase property. So it activates this insulin receptor substrate. There is a tyrosine phosphorylation. After that, it causes the activation of the phosphatidylinositol 3 kinase, that is the PI3K, and this PI3K it causes the activation of the phosphorylation of the inositol phosphate 2 to inositol phosphate 3, and upon this formation of this inositol phosphate 3, it causes the activation of the protein kinase B or AKT or protein kinase C, zeta or lambda, and both of them they cause this translocation of this glucose transporter. So glucose transporter is an important molecule which is playing a major role in your glucose transport in your cell. So once glucose transporter will be going from intercellular side to your plasma membrane, then glucose will be going into your cells. So that is the basic mechanism for any kind of a insulin stimulated glucose mechanism. So what is under diabetes condition, what is happening? No? So we are saying the insulin resistance. That means so insulin resistance, that means insulin is not properly binding with insulin receptor substrate. If insulin is not properly binding with insulin receptor substrate, so this GLUT4, it is a kind of a insulin sensitive molecule. So if this pathway is not being operated, it will not go into your plasma membrane. That's why glucose will not be going into your cell. So your plasma, it will be in outside. That means your plasma glucose level will be high. So aim is to activate this signaling pathway and to get glucose from inside to the outside to the inside. So that is there, and also there is in the muscle, as I said, in the muscle, so muscle is a known precursor for the AMP kinase. So upon say exercise, the people are saying that diabetes people do the exercise. That means that they have to activate use your AMP, because once this AMP will be activated, it has also the properties for the activation of the PI3K. So it is a kind of an insulin independent pathway. Okay, and so upon diabetes, so this AMP is getting down, which is also causing the down regulation of this glucose signaling pathway. So in our study, we have examined both these insulin dependent, that is this, as well as this insulin independent pathway of this glucose mechanism. And you can see this mechanism here. So say supplementation of this Heuser protein isolate, it causes this tyrosine phosphorylation of your PI3K. You can see the high glucose treated cells, it has a less protein expression compared to your control cells. However, treatment with this protein isolate, it increases this protein expression of the phospho PI3K. And after the phospho PI3K, the next protein is this protein kinase B or AKT. That is the serine phosphorylation, serine 473 phosphorylation. It also causes a dose-dependent increase in this protein expression, and also it causes this increase in the GLUT4 protein expression. However, it didn't activate this AMPK kinase. Okay, so it suggests this role of the activation of this PI3K pathway to activate this GLUT4. So to further confirm its role in the insulin receptor or this AMP kinase, so we did the knockdown studies in this cell. That means we have knocked down this receptor in both the cell lines. So first we knock down this insulin receptor and check this activity of this protein extract. We can see in the insulin receptor knockdown cells, so supplementing the cells with this your protein extract, it didn't activate this PI3K, AKT as well as this GLUT4. So that we suggest that things say insulin receptor is necessary for its activation. That means that it may have some insulin mimetic activity. However, when we knock down this AMPK signaling molecule, you can see this when we knock down this AMPK signaling molecule in knockdown cells, however, protein isolate supplementation is can still increase this PI3K protein expression, AKT phosphatase expression, glucose expression. Also, it causes this glucose uptake also. We suggest that the however, protein isolate, it can activate via this insulin receptor pathway, but via not the AMPK activated pathway. And thereafter, we have checked this protein profiling of this because we are doing this as a whole, the protein isolate. So this is this non-fermented protein isolate. This is this SDS page chromatogram, electrophotogram, and this is the Hawaiian protein isolate. And you can see this. What are the say globulin? That is the allergens. The 7S globulin and 11S globulin. This major storage. They are mainly the storage proteins. So they are dramatically reduced in this fermented protein isolate. After that, we have also doing this immunoblotting studies with the anti-fermented, anti-soy antibody, and you can see also that these storage proteins are completely reduced in this Hauser protein isolate. However, some new protein bands are appearing in this fermented protein isolate, which suggested the generation or formation of the new protein upon the fermentation. And we have performed these animal studies also, as I have mentioned, using this high fructose, high fat diet animal model of type 2 diabetes. And you can see the supplementation with this protein isolate at a dose of 0.5, 1, and 2 mg per kg body weight. It dose dependently it decreases this blood glucose level as well as this glycated hemoglobin has been significantly decreased in at a dose of 2 2 gram per kg body weight. And also glucose tolerance also it is decreasing, and insulin resistance also significantly decreased, dose dependently decreased with this supplementation of this protein isolate. And the same signaling pathway we have also examined by using this skeletal muscle skeletal muscle tissues, and you can see supplementation of this protein isolate dose dependently increase this PI3K protein expression, AKT phosphatase protein expression, MPK, as well as this glucose protein expression in this muscle tissue. So after that, we want to investigate. Say, as till now we have done the studies with the as a whole protein isolate. So we want to investigate what are the particular protein molecule among this in the isolate is playing that beneficial role. So thereafter, we have identified the bioassay guided fractionation of this protein molecule. There we have used different kind of chromatographic techniques, say starting from say gel filtration chromatography, then ion exchange chromatography, then HPLC high pressure liquid chromatography within the C18 reverse phase column, and this is the kind of a standard procedure for doing this protein purification technique. So you can see, say first we have done with this gel filtration chromatography within the Cephadix G50 gel filtration column, and you can see that we got say 3 peaks in the gel filtration column, and we examined this efficacy of this glucose utilization. I have mentioned you how do you take this glucose utilization study. And so you can see, say among the say peak 1, 2, 3, peak 3 was showing the significant glucose utilization against this high glucose exposure, and you can see that in the peak 1 some band was coming about the 60 kg, and this is the peak 2 probably 37, and this is the peak 3 around say 25 kg. So proteins are coming. So next we proceed further with this peak 3 material, and then we perform this ion exchange chromatography. So in the ion exchange chromatography, got the peak 1 and peak 2, and again we did this bioassay by using this glucose utilization assay, and peak 1 is showing this significantly higher this glucose utilization property, and the same band was coming at around say 25 or below 25 kg, And then we did this reverse phase HPLC, and we got a homogeneous peak in the HPLC and the short band below the 25 kD, and it was also showing this significant activity also. So now this like while we have already communicated this article. So like while we are submitting this article, so reviewer was asking say like to do this definitely this sequencing of this protein as well as its nature. But thing is that like okay, so like when we are asking for this sequencing thing, so they are asking a approximately like the very high concentration of the protein sample, 1 mg per ml of the concentration, and a huge high amount. So during that revision, it was kind of very difficult for us to prepare this thing. So what we did, that thing, whether one thing came to our mind that okay, the protein where we are using, is it coming from a say bacteria or from this soy origin? Since we already have this anti-soy antibody, so we have done this like the immunoblotting with the same Western blotting. So we have done this immunoblotting, and which gives a short band say, below 25 like the kD. So which gives us a proof at least this protein is of the soy origin. So that part we confirmed it, and so he was kind of satisfied. Okay, so this is a kind of a soy origin protein. It's not of the bacterial origin. So and then you can see it's a fold of purification also after say HPLC approximately 20-fold purification we got, and its effective concentration is also coming down. So then again we investigated this isolated protein and its activity against this anti-diabetic potential. And we use the same muscle cell culture model, and also the same signaling pathways and animal model also the same to investigate its property. And at that time, so like we have when we were doing this work, so we have performed these studies not in our institute in the Calcutta, and on all the other parameters also this GTT and everything we have examined like the earlier. So you can see that thing. See this now this is the isolated single protein, not the protein isolate. Earlier we have studied as an entire protein isolate, but after this purification we got a single protein of say approximately 24 kg molecular weight, and we have investigated its property, and you can see that the concentration is coming down. It's a highly active, say 0.1, 0.5, and 1 mg per ml. So we are using it, and it significantly increases glucose uptake, glucose 6-phosphate concentration. Also, cell viability, no cytotoxicity has been observed, and also say that it also causes this increasing this protein expression of the phospho-PI3K, phospho-AKT, as well as the protein expression has also been increased. And also now, so now we have done another one thing. So that as I said, that earlier we have done this both these insulin receptor as well as this AMPK knockdown cells to check it whether it has the it can stimulate the insulin activity or insulin mimetic activities or not in this knockdown cells. We have checked it. So now we have a pure protein, so we can see that whether it can stimulate insulin activities or not. So we did a simple experiment. So we have treated these cells with the insulin as well as this single protein either alone or together. And you can see that thing earlier say our effective concentration was say 0.5 and 1, we are getting significant effect. So now we have reduced its concentration say 0.25. You can see say 0.25 mg per ml we are using the concentration. So like whenever we are using this 0.25 concentration along with this insulin, so if we add both of them together, it has a very huge activity compared to their alone. So it suggests us that it may have some insulin activation or insulin mimetic activity. So further purification is also needed. At least we could have some idea know that it may work on this insulin receptor signaling pathway, but not have this MPK activation pathway. So that part we have investigated by this study, and we also studied this animal experiment also. And since like here we have only used say 100 mg per kg body weight. The single dose have only used, not the different doses. And actually, like we have started this work without this animal work. This because isolating a pure protein and again doing this animal work is kind of huge work. Cell culture you can do it, but animal work is kind of huge stuff. But they are kind of stubborn. Like when either you do the sequencing or this animal law. So we thought that okay, sequencing they will be charging us a minimum of 2 to 3 lakhs, and again getting a pure thing and doing the better at least animal thing we can do it. And we have done these animal studies, and as you said, we got a like a good effect of this protein single protein. So it causes this down regulation of this blood glucose level, and also insulin resistance also getting down, and glycated hemoglobin also reduced. And also this that the expression of the PI3K, phospho-AKT and GLUT4 is also going up, suggesting this PI3K-AKT GLUT4 mechanism of utilization. So this is the summary diagram. Say how is the protein isolate isolating this alkaline extraction isolating precipitation, putting this pure protein isolate, and following the different kind of say gel filtration and chromatography single protein. And then we have done this animal studies as well as cell culture studies suggesting this insulin receptor mediated PI3K pathway to cause this glucose improved glucose mechanism. So now, so as we know that thing say what is the like say challenge it has come so that commercially like whenever we want to take it for this common people that it has a kind of a pretty smell properties. We know that all the fermented soy food they have distinct smell. Although the people like to have that smell, that is also one point. Those who are taking they want to have that smell, is but like somebody they do not want. So, like we want to develop this thing in our laboratory scale. So, to do that thing, so we have like attempted to like the screen this what are the bacteria present in this fermented soybean, and so like then we will select the potential bacteria, and then we are taking this commercially available soy protein, and we are fermenting this soy protein with the isolated bacteria from that particular soy food, and it's investing its efficacy so that we can like we have this beneficial health benefit, but like that kind of a, and also that the at some point some pathogenic bacteria are also there, because while we are isolating CD Bacillus cereus and other bacteria are also there, and some amines, biogenic amines are also there, so which could not be present in this laboratory scale fermentation. And you can see like we have isolated approximately 7 to 8 culturable bacteria, and among them so one was showing say good efficacy against in terms of this glucose utilizing property, that is our bioassay. And we are doing this 16S genome sequencing, and we have submitted that thing in the NCBI, and it is a coming at the bacillus subtilis, and you know that it is kind of all fermented soy food. You can see that thing, they are kind of a bacillus dominant, but strain is varying, different strain. And interestingly, that as I said, you know that our protein is still coming. That is in the earlier naturally fermented soybean, and while we are doing it, so commercializing also this particular band we are getting it. So like we are kind of more than now. Actually, one good thing is that now, so now since we are preparing this thing in a laboratory condition, so now we have a confidence that we can produce the pure protein in more quantity. So that will be in future we have we can sequence it. So that is the purpose of doing that thing. And also I have we have checked it both is say glucose utilization as well as glucose uptake capacity in this same cell culture model, and you can see that it is significantly increases this glucose utilization and glucose uptake, and also same phospho-PI3K, phospho-AKT, GLUT4 protein expression rate is also increasing, suggesting its beneficial active form which is there, whatever is produced in the lab scale fermentation also. And so this is the kind of a summary diagram of our laboratory scale preparation of this fermented soy protein. And so now, like it is kind of like a beneficial for us, so that we can produce it in more purified form and in more condition, because we know that again that the how much inoculum we are adding, and it is kind of a now in under kind of regulatory control, so that we can produce the amount as we can desire. And because all these traditional purification procedure, that a kind of a huge kind of a yield is getting down. So, but since now it is our hand, so that we are kind of more confident and work is going on. I hope we will be able to fully sequence this protein, and in future, if we can clone it, so that will be interesting. So, I hope for the best. And so, combining all, so this is the thing that, okay, that how I just protein isolate, it shows this good producing anti-diabetic potential among the all other protein fermented soy food available in the northeast India, and says like the chemical profiling of its protein isolate suggests the alteration in its protein profile, and also the absence of the anti-nutrient proteins, and of course, approximately 24 kD protein from the however it is found to be a bioactive principle. And so like okay, it is improving like reducing this hyperglycemia, insulin resistance, and also this impairs glucose metabolism, and also like the say full length characterization and the pharmacokinetic profiling has needs to be done, and also stability viability has also needs to be checked. And we are planning, so if you can find some on active motif in this particular protein, so then this bioavailability strategy will be more beneficial. So that is, and also like we have a plan. So like first thing is now just to full length sequence of this protein, and after that we can do say enzymatic digestion. So to find out say which say fragment is responsible for its activity. Based upon that, we can design it to for its cloning and all those things. And hopefully, like okay, this protein isolate from the however it will be a novel functional food for combating against diabetes. And so these are the couple of studies whatever we have published. And interestingly, sir, when we published this first article in the Journal of Food Biochemistry, so before this publication, it took a 1 year of time to publish this journal, where it's such a huge journal. But once it is published, within 1 month, Current Science they covered this topic, and they publish it as a Current Science news report. The fermented soy food of North India for combating diabetes. So that pushed up us. But compared to this study, where we have not identified the protein isolate, but this while we publishing this International Journal of Biological Macromolecule, we have targeted this journal, it accepted it because it has a kind of this molecule has been identified, and it is a full length characteristic there. So this is there, and so that's what like we are kind of in a good condition that okay, it will be give us a good benefit of this thing. And so I would like to thank our director, Dr. Sastri, for giving me this permission and allowing me to do the work at CSR NEET, and also Dr. SB1, principal scientist, senior principal scientist of CSR NEET, and head of the RPP division, and my colleague, Dr. Nitin Kalita, and he's the HOD of the Center for Persistent Disease, and also my student. So Dipendra Das, so he had submitted this. It is his entire thesis work of this thing, and this meeting bulk COVID and nuclear. They are doing this further characterizing of this protein molecule, and also my funding from Ramalinga Swami, DVGST, and CSR for supporting these studies. And thank you all for listening and for the. Thank you.
To the last stop. I just want to ask you whether the bacteria that you have been isolated, whether the bacteria possess any probiotic characteristics or not?
We have not screened it yet. That is also a kind of a plan. I have asked the student to do that thing. So we hope it will have. So that will be again one added advantage. But we have not studied it yet. Because I am not a microbiologist, I have a very limited knowledge in the microbiology. I have to depend on the other people understand. But it will be nice if it could have. We have not examined it yet.
Thank you.
Dr. Vanna, excellent quote. So nice of seeing your extensive studies. So I just need to say that is soy protein what you've done. The other proteins, if you take it only except Manipur, what you take, that apart from Manipur, others are not working on it. The isolated protein is not having efficacy on what you take.
No, sir. As I said, like the protein isolate from the other fermented sugar of the other states, we have found it, but only one state that is Tungumbai probably. I have it in my first slide. So they have that efficacy also there, but the Hawaiian are showing the highest efficacy. So that's why I proceed with the Hawaiian. And also, so once I got this bacteria, no. So I just see that thing whether this is kind of this bacteria is specific for the soy or for other legume. So I have isolated the proteins from the say mung beans and another cultivar also. So particularly that soy is giving this bacteria is growing nicely in the particularly soy protein. But as you said, like I have checked it like in the first slide probably. So like it is there. So like while we are investigating it, yeah. So like you can see this, they have a little bit of high is there. Then what is that? That the Peruvian from the Arunachal, but the Hawaiian is showing the tremendously high, much higher. So that's why we proceed with this Peruvian. Hmm. And also like sorry, that's why we have proceeded with this Hawaiian, but Peruvian also have some bacteria. But again, and also like it depends because we have extensive after these studies we have collected it repeated times from the different season because they are all are the natural fermentation, no, and also the different places, different districts and different local market. We have contacted the people and collecting this thing. But as I said, this Peruvian also we got some activities also. We got some activities in the Peruvian also. Peruvian like the bacteria also there. We got some activities in the Peruvian also. However, was high.
Okay, fine. Thank you. The second part is that have you done any work on this metabolic pathways apart from this AMPK pathway or the sugar?
AMPK as well as the PI3K pathway.
Only these two pathways.
Only these two pathways I have because this since we have screened with this GLUT4 expressing cell and that is muscle, where this PI3K pathway as well as this AMPK are the kind of only responsible, but not in the other pathways, mTOR or other. I have not checked it yet. So that part I have not. And hepatic pathway also I have not checked it.
Other related to the other part, your contingent traits favor you. So you use the normal.
High fat, yes, because that was the available. Because when we started this one, no, like have to depend on the others, no, and so transgenic it could be done very good. So now, like since we are now producing the pure protein culture, so we have a long plan if to take it in further.
Any motive of commercialization or the second part? Because
That is there. That is there.
translation.
That is there. That is there. Actually, I could forum is open. I have submitted this thing to your BIRAC. So they told me that thing to do it on the clinical thing. And then I said that if I have to do this, I am submitting it grant for the clinical. But doing a clinical thing is you have to do the clinical registration first, right? And but again, we have a plan. We have a plan on to this clinical thing, and and like while you are doing this study, after this ICMR report has come, you can go through that this particular 3 step. We are kind of very happy that they have a very lower prevalence of this both the pre-diabetes and diabetes. We do not know, but we are kind of happy that okay, at least good indication is there. We do not know what is the causative factor.
We expect much from this study because if the protein we have seen that is having some type of APK agonism. Okay, it's a better way, pathway in order to establish the
Yes.
how the metabolic cycle works.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you,
This was
sir.
good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manan.
Thank you very much, Manna sir, for the enlightening speech. So with this, we end this scientific session. So after this, we all request the delegates, the students, to go to ground floor A block to have a cup of tea before leaving. And tomorrow at sharp 10 a.m. we'll start our next scientific session. So all are requested to present in OD2. This is OD1. So at OD2 we'll start the scientific session at 10 a.m. So all are requested to present. So thank you very much. And before that, breakfast will be there from 9:30.